Yo, check it, got that new fire straight from the underground. What you need? This that real hip hop.
What's up, man? How you feeling out there? It is Rewind Wednesdays, and we're diving into a funny version of Rewind Wednesdays. A little comedy. But right now we're diving into George Carlin on soft language. This is his take on soft language. When I think of soft language, I think of how you would speak to a child or a kid, basically. That's soft language. Let's see what he says.
I don't like words that hide the truth. I don't like words that conceal reality. I don't like euphemisms or euphemistic language. And American English is loaded with euphemisms because Americans have a lot of trouble dealing with reality. Americans have trouble facing the truth. So they invent a kind of a soft language to protect themselves from it. And it gets worse with every generation. For some reason, it just keeps getting worse. I'll give you an example of that. There's a condition in combat. Most people know about it. It's when a fighting person's nervous system has been stressed to its absolute peak and maximum, can't take any more input. The nervous system has either snapped or is about to snap. In the First World War, that condition was called shell shock. Simple, honest, direct language. 2 syllables, shell shock. Almost sounds like the guns themselves. That was 70 years ago. Then a whole generation went by, and the Second World War came along, and the very same combat condition was called battle fatigue. 4 syllables now. Takes a little longer to say. Doesn't seem to hurt as much. Fatigue is a nicer word than shock. Shell shock. Battle fatigue. Then we had the war in Korea, 1950. Madison Avenue was riding high by that time, and the very same combat condition was called operational exhaustion. Hey, we're up to 8 syllables now. And the humanity has been squeezed completely out of the phrase. It's totally sterile now. Operational exhaustion. Sounds like something that might happen to your car. Then, of course, came the war in Vietnam, which has only been over for about 16 or 17 years. And thanks to the lies and deceit surrounding that war, I guess it's no surprise that the very same condition was called post-traumatic stress disorder. Still 8 syllables, but we've added a hyphen. And the pain is completely buried under jargon. Post-traumatic stress disorder. I'll bet you if we'd have still been calling it shell shock, some of those Vietnam veterans might have gotten the attention they needed at the time. I'll bet you that.
Oh, that's a stinger right there. That's a stinger right there. Post-traumatic stress disorder. And for a lot of people, if you're new and you're tuning in and you're one of the people who were born after the 2000s, you believe PTSD comes from anywhere. It comes from going to war. That's where it originated from, the term. War. Not everyday stressful things. Oh, I have PTSD. I have PTSD. I cannot stand when I hear people say that, bro. Yeah. So far, so good. I gotta get back to it. And it's not to say you don't have PTSD, right? But it's not at the level at which you believe it is. You are traumatized in some way, but it's not the way the word was originally used. That's why I guess I have a problem with it. But like you said, we create the words and then we soften them up more and more. This is good. This is good. Hopefully you're still watching. Let's see what we got.
But it didn't happen. And one of the reasons is because we were using that soft language, that language that takes the life out of life. And it is a function of time. It does keep getting worse. Give you another example. Sometime during my life, toilet paper became bathroom tissue. I wasn't notified of this. No one asked me if I agreed with it. It just happened. Toilet paper became bathroom tissue. Sneakers became running shoes. False teeth became dental appliances. Medicine became medication. Information became directory assistance. The dump became the landfill. Car crashes became automobile accidents. Partly cloudy became partly sunny. Motels became motor lodges. House trailers became mobile homes. Used cars became previously owned transportation. Room service became guest room dining. And constipation became occasional irregularity. When I was a little kid, if I got sick, they wanted me to go to the hospital and see the doctor. Now they want me to go to a health maintenance organization or a wellness center to consult a healthcare delivery professional. Poor people used to live in slums. Now the economically disadvantaged occupy substandard housing in the inner cities.
Look at it, people.
And
Look
they're
at
broke.
it, man.
They're broke. They don't have a negative cash flow position. They're fucking broke. Because a lot of them were fired. You know, fired. Management wanted to curtail redundancies in the human resources area. So many people are no longer viable members of the workforce. Smug, greedy, well-fed white people have invented a language to conceal their sins. It's as simple as that. The CIA doesn't kill anybody anymore. They neutralize people. Or they depopulate the area. The government doesn't lie. It engages in disinformation. The Pentagon actually measures nuclear radiation in something they call sunshine units. Israeli murderers are called commandos. Arab commandos are called terrorists. Contra killers are called freedom fighters. Well, if crime fighters fight crime and firefighters fight fire, what do freedom fighters fight? They never mention that part of it to us, do they? Never mention that part of it.
Yeah, this is
And
highbrow
some of this stuff
comedy.
is just silly. We all know that. Like on the airlines, they say they want a pre-board. Well, what the hell is pre-board? What does that mean? To get on before you get on? They say they're going to pre-board those passengers in need of special assistance. Cripples!
Can't say
Simple,
that.
honest, direct language. There's
Oh my gosh. You cannot, you can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that. Yo, yeah,
no
I can't.
shame
Oh
attached to
my
the word
God.
cripple that I can find in any dictionary. No shame attached to it. In fact, it's a word used in Bible translations. Jesus healed the cripples. Doesn't take 7 words to describe that condition. But we don't have any cripples in this country anymore. We have the physically challenged. Is that a grotesque enough evasion for you? How about differently abled? I've heard them called that, differently abled. You can't even call these people handicapped anymore. They'll say, we're not handicapped, we're handy-capable. These poor people have been bullshitted by the system into believing that if you change the name of the condition, somehow you'll change the condition. Well, hey, cousin, doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. We have no more deaf people in this country, hearing impaired. No one's blind anymore, partially sighted or visually impaired. We have no more stupid people. Everybody has a learning disorder. Or he's minimally exceptional. How would you like to be told that about your child? He's minimally exceptional. Oh, thank God for that. Psychologists actually have started calling ugly people those with severe appearance deficits. It's getting so bad that any day now I expect to hear a rape victim referred to as an unwilling sperm recipient.
And the crowd goes wild. You hear that? You couldn't tell that joke today, though. You couldn't say that joke with the R word in it because apparently they've done away with that word as if people stopped doing that. So that doesn't happen anymore because the word doesn't get said anymore. I don't know. That's, oh man. Oh, I can't believe.
And we have no more old people in this country. No more old people. We shipped them all away, and we brought in these senior citizens. Isn't that a typically American 20th century phrase? Bloodless, lifeless. No pulse in one of them. A senior citizen. But I've accepted that one. I've come to terms with it. I know it's here to stay. We'll never get rid of it. That's what they're going to be called, so I'll relax on that. But the one I do resist, the one I keep resisting, is when they look at an old guy and they'll say, look at him, Dan. He's 90 years young. Imagine the fear of aging that reveals. To not even be able to use the word old to describe someone, to have to use an antonym. And fear of aging is natural. It's universal, isn't it? We all have that. No one wants to get old. No one wants to die. But we do. So we bullshit ourselves. I started bullshitting myself when I got to my 40s. As soon as I was in my 40s, I'd look in the mirror and I'd say, well, I guess I'm getting older. Older sounds a little better than old, doesn't it? Sounds like it might even last a little longer. Bullshit, I'm getting old. And it's okay, because thanks to our fear of death in this country, I won't have to die. I'll pass away. Or I'll expire like a magazine subscription. If it happens in the hospital, they'll call it a terminal episode. The insurance company will refer to it as a negative patient care outcome. And if it's the result of malpractice, they'll say it was a therapeutic misadventure. I'm telling you, some of this language makes me want to vomit. Well, maybe not vomit. Makes me want to engage in an involuntary personal protein spill. Thank you all.
Oh my gosh. Okay. George Carlin. Where has he been my entire life? I like this guy. I like this guy. I like the way he thinks. I like the way he sees the world. And I like the way he spreads information through jokes, through the funnies. You might not catch it while he's saying it, but you'll remember it because it's funny. And then when you go to repeat it, you'll hear yourself saying it, and then you start thinking about it. Now here we are. Let me see when this is 2025. They're saying this came out in 1990 from a special he did called Doing It Again. And it's describing the sterilization of the American language. Now, can we just for a moment think about the people that are in my age bracket? Because to be honest, from what I've been told by YouTube, those are the people that tune in, the people who are close to my age. Um, Not saying I wouldn't wish for the younger crowd to tune in, but I'm not speaking their language. I don't. And that makes so much sense to me. And then I'm watching this, and now it makes even more sense. They are literally washing away things that I grew up saying, things that I grew up with that you can no longer say and or do, or it's weird. It's very weird, but this goes to show me that it's not new. So when I was young and I was saying all the cool hip words in the 90s and the early 2000s, and my mom or uncles or the people that were older than me were looking at me like, bro, what are you talking about? Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard someone say to you, what are you saying? And you're like, you don't know what I'm saying? You don't know what this means? This means that, and that means this, and da da da. I'm like, what? No, this is the word, and the word has meant this forever. So can we just use that word? No, we can't. Times are changing. You have to change with the times. But does the language have to change? And then, real quick, this is kind of off topic. You ever wonder why foreigners come to America and have such a hard time learning the English language? Because we create five, six, seven different words for one thing. One thing. And it's bread and bread. Just a quick example. Bread and bread. Sounds the same. Like it's like that. The American language is so mixed up. We it seems like we just play with it. And now in the year of 2025, it seems like we are just literally grabbing stuff. My son said Riz to me the other day, and immediately my mind went to what context he was using the word Riz in and what that meant back when I was a kid, or, game, style, flavor. But Riz to me comes from charisma, which is what you need in order to be flirtatious and run game and all of that. So I had to explain that to him. Now he says charisma. Whenever he wants to say Riz, he says charisma. That guy doesn't have any charisma. And it's just crazy hearing it because no one says that anymore. But isn't that where it came from? Why is that not widely acceptable? I don't know, man. This right here was really good. And I know sometimes I get a little long-winded. So if you're still here, you're still locked in, bro. Look, what words in please just drop it in the comment section, man. What words do you miss saying? Now be mindful. Be mindful. We live in the most sensitive era I've ever seen. So just be very mindful because YouTube will automatically block some of the things you say if they are deemed harsh or offensive. So don't feel like it's me. They do it automatically. They'll let you think that you posted it, but it will be blocked. Um, what words can't you say anymore? What words do you miss saying? What words do you wish that we still had around? I miss being able to call people stupid. I miss being able to do that. And so many different variations of the word stupid. But you used to be able to make people feel ashamed for doing something that's not smart. You can't do that anymore. Everything someone does is considered to be golden because everyone's a freaking snowflake. It's crazy, bro. Shout out to George Carlin for talking about this in the 90s. And to go as far as back as 1965 when I don't know if it was his first stand up ever, but he's been doing this for a long time. I'm going to be tuning into more George Carlin and hopefully you'll be here to do it with me, bro. This was really good. Um, yeah, enjoy your day. Have a way better day. Show love to the channel. Peace.
Perfect.